Donald Trump. It's just me, Paula Poundstone. I was just playing with the cats. When I was a kid, my family went to church on Easter Sunday. I wore shiny shoes, tights, and my Easter dress, which became my Sunday school dress for the Sundays that followed for the next year. I never understood the He is risen thing, even though I wanted to, which was lucky for my kids, because for Easter, I would take my kids to Magic Mountain Amusement Park because the lines were shorter without the Christians. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I heard you say in your speech in the press room at the White House that militarily, it's been one of the best Easters. That's an unusual measuring stick for Easter. I've heard people say that they were inspired by an especially good sermon at their church on a given Easter, or that the kids were a riot running around looking for the eggs. I've never heard an Easter celebration judged militarily. For those who celebrate Easter, it's either a recognition of the story of Jesus' resurrection, or a day of eggs, candy, baskets, and the large, generous bunny whose backstory has never really been fleshed out. Or perhaps some combination of the two. You'll notice there's no mention of the military in either practice. Is this military measure something I've just missed? Is it customary to turn to a fellow wedding guest and say, "It's a beautiful wedding"? But militarily, it really falls short. At this press conference in the James Brady press room, you described the U.S. military's rescue of two of their pilots who were downed over Iran. I'm so glad they were rescued. You were absolutely bubbling over with admiration for the troops who pulled off the rescue because you said they had a contingency plan in case the sandy spot for their makeshift runway didn't work. You said, "Can you imagine?" I can. I often have a contingency plan. It would have been great if you had a contingency plan for when the Iranians blocked the Strait of Hormuz because you attacked them illegally. In fact, it would have been great if you had a plan. You sat at a table with a bunch of kids at the annual Easter egg roll on the White House lawn. How old were they? Maybe 5, 6, 7? What were they doing? Coloring? It looked and sounded like you were generously giving them each an autograph. But I heard you say to them, Joe Biden signed everything with an auto pen. And then you explained to them what an auto pen is. Donald, they had no idea what you were talking about. They were looking at you like you'd gotten a hold of some bad peeps. They're lucky you didn't get all tears in your apple juice and tell them about your marital problems. Couldn't you just have asked them, did you like the basket you got from the Easter Bunny? And how was it militarily?